Welcome back to 340 Paddler, and today I want to talk about training, or my training, to get that 60 to 65 hour goal. So last time we talked about my runs in 2012 and 2013 just for the finish, when I finished in 78 and 76 hours. Today I want to talk about 2014, where I was aiming for that 65 to 60 hour range, which was a massive improvement at the time. So my goal that year is sub 65, and I began my training on January 1st. I actually started on December 28th or 29th. The reason being I really hate New Year's resolutions, so I'll start things just before or just after. And I started out by using an ergometer, a Paddle One ergometer that I had gotten through Ron Ladd Surf Ski down in Kansas City. And I started out just trying to get through 10 minutes of solid paddling and then up to 20 minutes. And I would do this most mornings, about 5 times a week. By June, that grew into doing up to an hour once a week. So I'd do my little 20-minute paddles or 30-minute paddles, and then I would do at least one 1-hour section. Boredom being the biggest issue there, to be perfectly honest. On the water, once things thawed out up here in Wisconsin, I don't hit the water until March or April. I would do 1 to 2 hours, about 2 to 3 times a week. The reason I did these very short periods is I had a newborn child, and my wife probably would have killed me had I run off for 6 hours. In terms of racing that year, I had done the Cali Roar up in northern Wisconsin, which is 28 miles, and Missouri Freedom, which is 63. And overall I did 200 miles on the ergometer and about 200 miles on the water. This wasn't all long, slow distance. I tried to push those paces. I watched my metrics and tried to always go a little bit faster. Now, the result was 63 hours. I finished Thursday night, so I actually got to use that hotel room that I had booked for Thursday and Friday every year prior. But I actually got to sleep in it, which was kind of nice. I probably would have finished a little bit faster, but I ran into some problems in 2014. Fog, which delayed things for 2 to 3 hours. I slept at Jefferson City. Generally, I don't sleep until at least 40 hours into the race, unless I'm trying for a sub 50, in which case I'll push right through. But I slept that year 4 hours at Jefferson City, and I also had probably 3 to 4 hours of other stoppage time, so probably 10 to 12 hours of total stoppage, so I could have definitely gone much faster. What happened during the race is because I had been doing all of this distance, my aerobics were good, I felt pretty good, but I ended up losing stamina by about Miami. I came through Lexington in probably 8th, 9th, 10th place, somewhere in there, and by the time I hit Miami, I'm in about 15th or 20th place. It wasn't really good, and I made too many stops that year, but in terms of training, what it taught me is I needed more strength. I needed to work on the strength aspect of training. So if you're shooting for that 60 hours, 65 hour mark, doing ergometer workouts or doing runs, etc., where it's going to work on your aerobic fitness, doing some serious on-water training, and trying to do it as hard as possible are going to be your best bet to get there. Now, I should warn you, 60 to 65 hours, you can easily end up between a pack. That year, I didn't really paddle with anyone for most of the race, whereas previous years there were always a few people around. So be aware of that. There's some mental aspect to it, but push that training a little bit. That 400 total miles, 200 on the air, 200 on the water, and you'll probably be in that 60 to 65 hour range. You don't even have to start until January 1st. That being said, this is 340 Paddler. Keep your paddle in the water.